Namaste. My salutations to all of you. So, we are going to start the second season of Ramayana Reflection Series. We completed the first season in January. We reviewed an introduction. We had an introduction of Ramayana, where exactly Ramayana fit within the Vedic scriptural framework we saw. And what is the connection of Ramayana with the Vedas? We also saw what exactly constitutes the birth of Ramayana. We understood the history of Valmiki Maharishi, and we had a quick discussion of the different versions of Ramayana. This is essentially what we saw in our introductory season. And you can watch all the episodes in YouTube, and also you can listen that in Spotify. So now we are starting the second season, and second season is the Bala Kanda, the book of beginnings of Ramayana. So today we are going to get started, and we will essentially follow the Valmiki Ramayana. And as we follow through the Valmiki Ramayana, we are going to bring the key teachings from the other versions of Ramayana. This is the format we are going to do. So let's get started. So the last 15 minutes we will dedicate for Q&A. And if possible, try to restrict your Q&A questions on the topics we covered or the topics we covered so far, because there can be a lot of questions. As we move further, those questions will automatically get unfolded. But we will have some general Q&A also in between. So without any delay, let's get started. So before we get started, as always, let's listen to the Dhyana shloka of Rama.
ध्यायेदाजानुबाहुं धृतशरधनुषं बद्धपद्मासनस्थं पीतं वासोवसानं नवकमलदलस्पर्धिनेत्रं प्रसन्नं वामाङ्गारूढ सीतामुखकमलमिलल्लोचनं नीरदाभं नानालङ्कारदीप्तं दधतमुरुजटामण्डनं रामचन्द्रम्.
The name of Rama is so cleansing and purifying. The name of the Rama speciality is it connects us with good people, and it helps us to bring prosperity, happiness, and success in our life. So let's salute to Sri Rama and begin the Bala Kanda. So the first topic, Bala Kanda. Bala literally means child. Kanda means the book of childhood or the book of beginnings of the Ramayana is Bala Kanda. Key focus of this Bala Kanda is the origin of Ramayana, and it talks about the birth of Rama, the childhood of Rama, and early life of Rama up to Sita Swayambara it covers. The importance of Bala Kanda is that it sets the foundation for the whole epic. It highlights Rama's mission and Rama's values, mainly focusing on the dharma. Valmiki Ramayana mainly focus on the dharma, whereas Adhyatma Ramayana and the other versions of the Ramayana focus on the devotion. So this is a very brief introduction of Bala Kanda. And as we said, right, there are different versions of Ramayana. There is Valmiki Ramayana, there is Adhyatma Ramayana, Kamba Ramayana in Tamil, and Ramcharitamanas is there. A quick comparison of the Bala Kanda from each of these Ramayana we will do, and then we will start with the first shloka of Valmiki Ramayana. The focus of Valmiki Ramayana, it is the narrative of the origins and childhood of Rama. And there are 76 chapters, sargas, and approximately 2000 shlokas in Valmiki Ramayana. The key focus is the dharma, or the human aspect of Rama. It's a divine purpose is slightly mentioned, but Valmiki focuses more on the human aspect of Rama. Rama as a Maryada Purushottama is the focus here. And the style is, it's a very detailed storytelling, because you can see 2000 shlokas are there, focusing on the human aspect of Rama. Whereas when you come to the Adhyatma Ramayana, the point of view changes. More than the human element of Rama, it talks about the divinity of the Rama, the spiritual dimensions of the Rama, and the metaphysical element of the Ramayana. What is Ramayana? How it is connected with the Adhyatma, meaning the Vedanta, etc. Because the author's difference, because one is Vyasa, who is a pure Vedantin, and Valmiki was trying to find out that humanity of Rama. So these two are one of the major difference. When you look at the Adhyatma Ramayana, there are 20 chapters and 678 shlokas. So almost 1/3 of Valmiki Ramayana. And the Adhyatma Ramayana presents Rama as a supreme being, like Vishnu's incarnation. That is the major focus. More than the human element of Rama, Rama is presented as like the incarnation of Bhagavan Vishnu, and more focus on the Vedanta. That is what is Adhyatma Ramayana. So at appropriate times, we will bring those elements into this picture, because most of the people here are studying Advaita Vedanta. So it is better to understand that dimensions of Rama. So when you combine these two dimensions, the Valmiki Ramayana, which focuses on the human element of Rama, and the Adhyatma Ramayana, which is the spiritual element of Rama, or the divinity of Rama, that becomes complete. Now, when you come to the Kamba Ramayana of Tamil, Ramavataram, it's poetically so beautiful, and it is devotional and pretty much connected with the Tamil cultural elements. That is the major thing. Again, there are 6 chapters, approximately 1000 shlokas are there. And the more focus is devotion, the poetic beauty. That is the focus of the Kamba Ramayana. Now, when it comes to Ramcharitamanas, again, a kind of a devotional storytelling. That is the approach followed by the Kamba Ramayana. And the Ramcharitamānasa. Even though the Vedantic topics, Ramcharitamānasa, you can see a little bit of human aspect, a little bit of Vedantic aspect, Bhakti aspect a lot. There are 770 shlokas, meaning it is divided into 341 dohas, 358 chaupais, 25, like that there are different divisions. So approximately 770 verses are there. Bhakti, Rama as an embodiment of divinity, that is one of the major focus, even though it follows closely Valmiki Ramayana. Emphasis is more on devotion, and difference is the beauty of the Kamba Ramayana and the Ramcharitamānasa was the other two Ramayanas in Sanskrit, whereas the Kamba Ramayana is in Tamil, whereas the Ramcharitamānasa is in Awadhi, one of the dialect of Hindi. So that made the Ramayana popular among the common people. This is a quick comparison of the different versions of Ramayana. With that, let's now go to the Valmiki Ramayana first shlokas. First few shlokas, we are going to do a shloka by shloka analysis, and then we will pick the important shlokas to be discussed. But the rest, I will quickly summarize, because there is no way we can cover the 2000 shlokas. So even if we take 1 year, it is impossible to cover the 2000 shlokas. So we'll pick the important shlokas and discuss. And wherever something interesting is there in the other Ramayana, we will also bring that. Because when you combine this, that holistic vision of Rama, Rama's story is impossible for anybody to tell completely, but adding these different dimensions gives us a better picture and helps us to relate with Rama much easily and much nicely. So this is a quick comparison of the different versions of Ramayana. Now let's go to the first shloka of Ramayana. So let's listen to the first shloka.
प्रथमः सर्गः तपस्वाध्यायनिरतम् तपस्वी वाग्विदां वरम् नारदं परिपप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिर्मुनिपुङ्गवम्.
This is the first shloka of Valmiki Ramayana. Tapaswadhyaya niratam, tapasvi vāgvidāṁ varam, Naradam paripraschascha, Valmiki munipungavam. This is the shloka. So let's listen to the summary, and then we are going to unpack and deep dive into this shloka. This and the first few shlokas are very important to understand Ramayana. We have to look at that from that dimension to understand the depth and the breadth of the Ramayana. So the whole idea is Maharishi Valmiki is approaching Maharishi Narada and asking a question. So Maharishi Valmiki, a dedicated, rigorous spiritual seeker, he is listed as Tapasi, humbly sought guidance from Narada. What is the characteristics of that Narada? Who always engage in spiritual discipline. Tapas Svadhyaya niratam. He is committed in tapas and Svadhyaya. Let's understand that as a spiritual practice. We are going to talk about that later. And he is known for his ability to in speaking, communication. He is a master of communication. The word used here is vāgvidāṁ varam. Vak means words. Vidwan, the one who knows how to use the words. Narada is described as the best among the one who knows how to use the words. And another quality is what? One of the most revered sages, munipungavam. So Maharishi Valmiki, who is a tapasvi, who is a seeker, approached Narada, paripraschascha, with humility, with faith. He approached Narada in the proper way and asked a question. That is the literal meaning of this shloka. Now let's see each point and the storyline also connecting with the Vedantic principle. So let's deep dive into the shloka. The first point is, it's a tradition. You don't need to read the slides. The slides we will publish in our website this weekend. So you can download every class, including the introduction. So this is only for your reference. So just listen. So if you take our scriptural literature, there is a conventional practice. You always begin the first shloka with a mangalacharanam, like a sacred prayer. Look at Mahabharata. Mahabharata is what? There is a beautiful prayer, right? Narayanam namaskritya, naram chaiva narottamam, devim saraswatim vyasam. Like that. So I salute Nara and Narayana and Goddess Saraswati. Any big literature, you see a Mangalacharanam. The first shloka is a prayer. But here there is absolutely nothing. It starts with Tapaswadhyaya niratam. The one who is committed in tapas and austerity. Absolutely there is no prayer. But there is a prayer. The word tapa. So the Valmiki Ramayana begins with the word tapa. Tapa means discipline, austerity, commitment. That is a Mangalacharana. It's not a conventional, but it is a Mangalacharana. It's an auspicious invocation. So it set the tone for the entire epic. What? Discipline and commitment you need in the spiritual literature. If you want to be a better human being, you need tapas. If you want to be a better professional, you need tapas. If you want to be a spiritual seeker, you need tapas. If you want better health, You need tapas. So tapas means a disciplined set of practice to achieve a goal is tapas. And by starting with the tapa word, Ramayana sets for an auspicious beginning. So tapas, the word tapa, symbolizes commitment and discipline. And it is essential for studying the Ramayana. And that is why, one of the reasons why it started with the word tapa. So the word tapa serves here as a spiritual invocation. Second reason. In our introduction, we saw that Ramayana is an elaboration of the Vedic teaching. And if you take one mantra in the Vedas, which captures the essence of the entire Veda, it is the Gayatri mantra. And the entire Ramayana is an elaboration of that Gayatri mantra. Because Valmiki Ramayana has 24,000 shlokas. And every 1,000 shloka starts with the next syllable of the Gayatri. So Gayatri mantra is what? Tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yona prachodayat. If you take, there are 24 syllables, and approximately every 1,000 shloka of the Valmiki Ramayana starts with the next syllable of the Gayatri mantra. So what should be the first one? Ta. Tat. So ta. So that is why it starts with tapa. So Gayatri is an elaboration of the entire Vedas, and Maharishi Valmiki starts the Ramayana with the first syllable of the Gayatri, which is ta. So that is why tapa. Tapas Svadhyaya Narada. So that is the first point. Now let's go to the next topics. So here, before we go to the Valmiki Ramayana, we just need to understand what exactly is the invocation of the other Ramayana. If you go to Adhyatma Ramayana, there is a set of shlokas with formal Mangalacharanam. So the first shloka of the Adhyatma Ramayana brilliantly captures the Vedantic essence of that Ramayana, which is covered by Maharishi Vyasa. So it tells, I salute to Rama. And who is that Rama? Lord of Janaki, the husband of Janaki. And who came to this universe? For what? When the adharma was going beyond a threshold. What is adharma? Dharma means, we already talked about dharma. Dharma is the natural order of the universe. When people live aligned with the universal laws, that means it is dharma. When majority of the people, or when a set of people disturb that equilibrium, what is going to happen? The adharma increases beyond a threshold. So at that time, what happens? The Paramatma, the reality or the Ishvara of the universe, come down as an avatara. So upon the prayers of the divine sages and the good people, to protect the dharma and eliminate adharma, what happened? The Supreme Ishvara incarnated in the earth, in the Surya Vamsha, in the form of a human being, assuming his Maya. Even though the Ishvara is immutable, eternal, formless, etc., to protect the dharma and eliminate the adharma, according to the universal law, when the adharma goes beyond a threshold, the Ishvara will come down. And like that, that Supreme Ishvara came down, annihilated all the demons or the adharmas, and then re-established the dharma. And then what happened? Went back to its original form of the divine Brahman. To that Rama, who is that divine Brahman, and assume the form of a human being. For what? To protect the dharma. To that Rama, I salute. Look at the difference. Valmiki Ramayana is, you are going to see, Rama is being told, meaning only the human quality of Rama is highlighted. Here you can see an absolute connection between the Vedantic wisdom of the divinity of Rama or the spirituality of the Ramayana is highlighted in the first shloka of Valmiki Ramayana by Vyasa. Both are important. That is why we are covering both. We'll quickly see how Kamba Ramayana and Tulasi Ramayana is in the invocation. So in Tulasi Ramayana, again, it is so beautiful. The invocation is done to Sri Ganesha and Mother Saraswati. Goswami Tulasidas opens with a series of prayers, not just one shloka. A set of shlokas are dedicated for invocation. So the first invocation is given to Saraswati and Lord Ganesha and opens with the letter Va, symbolizing Varna. Varna means Akshara or the Swara. This alphabet, because what Tulasidas ji is praying is, all the letters are started, all the entire poetry, what I'm going to write, starts with the syllables of the language. If I don't know how to use these words properly, how do I communicate the vision of Rama? I'm nobody. How can I communicate this vast life of Rama? I need to communicate emotions. I need to communicate war. I need to communicate spiritual truth. And for that, I need the blessings of Ganesha to remove all the obstacles. And I need the blessings of what? Saraswati for giving me blessing so that I can communicate it well. So that is the prayer of Tulasidas ji. Again, beautiful. And finally, we will quickly look at what Kamba Ramayana talks on this. So the Kamba Ramayana deviates from the conventional styles of the other Ramayana. So it's very unique. Kamba Ramayana didn't talk about anything about the Narada Valmiki conversation. In Kamba Ramayana, it starts with the grammatical lakshanas of a Tamil kavya. So in Tamil, the idea is before you start anything, obviously, it has to start with a prayer to the God. So Kamban prayers to the divine. No, it's not a formality prayer, but a very heartfelt prayer for what? He said, I cannot do this. He said, I'm an intruder into the milky ocean of Vishnu. I'm struggling to understand this whole. So without your blessing, I cannot do that. And immediately after that, he goes to the Varnana of Ayodhya, because that is the Tamil way of putting a kavya. So you see, right? So let's recap. All the Ramayanas has some form of invocation. Valmiki Ramayana is not conventional, it is not formal. Adhyatma Ramayana, you get an invocation which talks about the divinity of Rama or the spiritual nature of Rama. Tulasidas ji opens up with a prayer to Ganesha and Saraswati, and Kamba Ramayana opens up a prayer to Lord Vishnu or the supreme reality for divine assistance. So this is what it is. So all Ramayana starts with a prayer. I really love that prayer of Adhyatma Ramayana. So anybody wants, we can put that in the chat. What exactly is the lyrics? So this is a quick overview. So this is the invocation. Now let's go to the next part of the Valmiki Ramayana. So the Enquirer here is Maharishi Valmiki. So one point to mention, you need to understand the story. So what is the timeline of this event happens? It's not before the occurrence of Ramayana. Rama's story has happened. Rama was born, Rama married to Sita, Rama went to forest, Rama killed Ravana, came back, assumed the role of the king, and it went up to the Bala Kanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, and it came to Uttara Kanda, the final chapter of the Ramayana. At that time, there was an event happened, the Sita Parityaga. You all may have a lot of questions on that. We are going to address that in detail a little bit later. But after the Sita Parityaga, Rama was ruling the kingdom. Mother Sita was in Valmiki's ashram. At that time, Valmiki was a little bit confused. Obviously, that event where we talked about that Krauncha Pakshi event has happened. So he knows that there is something called shloka. But at the very same time, he had a big doubt in his mind. Is there a person in this universe currently living. Not, he don't want to look, say, once upon a time there was a person. No, he wanted to understand, is there anybody in this universe who has all the essential qualities, all the noble qualities required for an ideal human being? He thought earlier that Rama had all these qualities. But the Sita Parityaga had put some doubts on his head. How can a person who renounced his wife can be called as Maryada Purushottama? So this question was haunting in his mind. Who is there an ideal human being? This is simple but very profound question, because remember, Valmiki Ramayana is an exploration of the humanity of Rama. That what is the human nature of Rama? Is there a person who has all these ideal characteristics? So because of this confusion, he was waiting. At that point of time, Maharishi Narada comes to Valmiki's ashram and he turns to Maharishi Narada for quality. In the first shloka, Valmiki addressed himself with only one Visheshana. He said Tapasvi, nothing more. For Narada, he gives three Visheshana, whereas for himself, he gave only one Visheshana. What is that? Tapasvi. So what is Tapasvi? A humble spiritual seeker. He didn't claim that he is expert. He didn't claim that he has a Trikala Jnani, nothing. He said, I am only a Tapasvi. This opening shloka of the Ramayana, where Valmiki glorifies Narada, but he kept himself. He identifies himself as a simple spiritual seeker. Tapasvi, one who is committed to spiritual practice. That's it. Just like a student. He didn't say that I'm an extraordinary, brilliant student. Nothing. He said, I am a student, spiritual seeker. He didn't glorify himself and setting example for the entire humanity in the first shloka itself. He didn't praise himself, but he praised the teacher, which is well deserved. So what in the first shloka, three things happens. There is an enquirer, and there is somebody who was to whom the inquiry was made, or the responder. Valmiki is the enquirer. Narada is the one who responds to Valmiki. And then there is a third aspect, how that enquiry was made. This is the essence of first shloka. So the first shloka of the Valmiki Ramayana covers four dimensions. One, there is a Mangalacharana by using the Tapas Shabda. Second one is an enquiry by one Maharishi to the another Maharishi because of a confusion he had, a potential confusion he had. And the enquirer is mentioned and the enquired is mentioned, and how that enquiry was done, that is also mentioned. This is the scope of the first shloka of Valmiki Ramayana. And this is how you need to understand the Ramayana. There is a lot of live lessons from every shloka you get. So let's try to see this. So we saw what is the Mangalacharana. We saw about the enquirer. Now let us see the enquired, or the person who responded, the teacher here, Narada. So the divine responder here is Maharishi Narada. I want to take a pause here. Whenever you hear Narada, because of these stories and all these serials, Narada was very, very negatively portrayed. Like even in cartoons and comics, he is portrayed somebody who makes always quarrels, somebody who makes always trouble, a troublemaker. No, you don't know Narada then. So a Maharishi revered across all the traditions of Sanatana Dharma. If there is one sage that is revered across all traditions of Sanatana Dharma, whether it is Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakteya, or Ganapatya, whatever school you are from, Maharishi Narada is revered. If you take Shiva Purana, you see Maharishi Narada. If you take Vishnu Purana, you take Maharishi Narada. If you take Bhagavata, you see Maharishi Narada, the one who guided through the the one who guided greatest devotees of the world, Prahlada. All these things is Narada. Equally respected by all Trimurtis. You can see Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Equally respect Narada. And he's a cosmic traveler and a divine messenger. And he's mentioned in all sorts of literatures in Sanatana Dharma. If one sage is mentioned in all sorts of literature, Vedas, there is an Upanishad called Naradiya Parivajaka Upanishad. So that whole Upanishad you can see Narada. So it's there in Vedas, it is there in Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Narada is there in all the 18 Puranas and all the 18 Upapuranas. And his roles are mentioned like a composer of like Bhakti Sutra. Who is the Patanjali is the author or composer of Yoga Sutra. Badarayana is the composer of Brahma Sutra. Who is the composer of Bhakti Sutra? It is Narada. Narada Bhakti Sutra. The one who defines Bhakti. The one who taught the world what is devotion. True devotion is. Not just like that attached devotion. What is the true devotion? It is taught by Narada. Right? He is a master of Sangeeta Shastra. You can see him always going with a veena and singing. So he's a master of Sangeeta Shastra. He's an expert of Vedangas. Especially it is said that he is a master of Shiksha and Chandas. The phonetic rules and also Chandas, the metric rules. He's a master and he's a guru of gurus. He's the one who created a Prahlada, one who was a born like son of Hiranyakashipu, right? Narada is the one who guided Prahlada. Narada is the one who guided Dhruva. So Narada's role, please don't underplay. He is a great sage. So this was not in Ramayana, but I thought of telling this because of a lot of misunderstanding. So that is Narada. And then why Narada was selected for giving the inspiration of Narada. Who is Narada? Naram. So Atmajnana Gatena iti Narada. Naram means the one who leads others or the humans to the knowledge of the self, Atma. That is the role of a true teacher. That is the literal meaning of Narada. Naram Atmajnana Gatena iti. The one who leads human being to the ultimate spiritual knowledge is Narada. So that is why he is known as Guru of the Gurus. And Narada is also an expert in Dharma Shastra. He knows what is Dharma, what is Adharma. So, whom do you think is the best person to identify the best human being who has demonstrated all the noble qualities mentioned in the Dharma Shastras and scriptures? Because he's a traveler, he meets all the people, he's an expert in all the Shastras, he's expert in Dharma Shastra, and he's a guru of gurus. That is the significance of Narada. So that is why Valmiki asked this question. Okay, so this is the role of Narada. Now let's go to the Visheshnas, or how Valmiki addressed Narada. Let's try to see that. So Valmiki addresses Narada. First one, he say, Tapa Svadhyaya Niratam. So Tapa Niratam, Svadhyaya Niratam. It can be split into two. So what is Tapa? Tapa means every human being, right? Every human being, if you want to reach a goal, there has to be some consistent, disciplined effort to achieve one goal. Whether it is spiritual or material, it doesn't matter. Suppose I wanted to write and clear an exam. I need to put consistent effort. Suppose I wanted to reduce my weight. I need to put consistent effort. Suppose I wanted to learn Ramayana. I need to put consistent effort. Suppose I wanted to clean my mind. I need to practice Karma Yoga. I need to put consistent effort. So any goal, it doesn't matter whether it is secular or sacred. you need to put consistent effort. So tapas means it is that consistent effort you put to reach a goal. That's it. So don't get confused by the tapas you see in the Puranas and stories. So usually tapas means what you see. Swami Chinmayananda used to say, like a person hanging on a tree or sitting under a fire or somebody like dipped in a water. No, that is all symbolic representation. So in Bhagavad Gita, it tells it is when your body, mind, and intellect unites and work together for a goal, that is tapas. And in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, you see this, right? There are different definitions of tapas. And 17th chapter, you see what is Vāṅmaya tapas, what is the body level tapas, what is the speech level tapas, and what is the mental tapas. The whole thing. Performing one's own duty or what is to be done with dedication is tapas. It is a discipline of the body, it is a discipline of the mind, and it is a discipline of the speech. It is controlling. It's not that you are running away, but you are in control, not they are in control. That is tapas. And why tapas is essential? Without tapas, no one can achieve anything. And Narada is listed as Tapanirada. Tapanirada means one who constantly engaged in tapas. If you remove that conventional or that usual image of tapas, you understand that he put always effort, consistent effort to grow spiritually, to understand more. So that is why he said he is committed to his spiritual goal. And that is why this illustrates that the tapas is a path for spiritual and material growth. So, and Narada is listed as one who is Tapanirada, who is always engaged in this tapas. So let's go to the next point. The second quality, Svadhyaya Nirada. Svadhyaya Nirada. Svadhyaya is again a very good, popular word. Svadhyaya is there in Yoga Sutra. It is self-study or the study of the scriptures. So it involves, Yoga Sutra brilliantly defines what is Svadhyaya. Self-reflection, understanding your own feeling, your own likes, your own dislikes. When you study yourself, most of the times we don't know ourselves. That is the biggest problem. So Svadhyaya means you try to understand yourself. Second one is the scriptural study. You're gaining wisdom, because without wisdom, you cannot perceive your goals. So that is why scriptural study is important. And the third one is also, it is known as japa. Yoga Sutras specifically call out japa as a Svadhyaya, especially the japa of Om. So this Svadhyaya is a niyama as per Yoga Sutra. It's a committed practice and an essential practice required. So Narada is listed as what? Svadhyaya Nirada. He is always deeply committed to study of the Vedas, study of the scriptures, and understanding himself and moving around. These are essential qualities of a teacher. Tapas, Tapanirada and Svadhyaya Nirada. And the next one is two more. So the next word used by Valmiki is Tapas Svadhyaya Niradam vāgvidāṁ varaha. Walk with means one who knows. The word with, that is the root word from the Veda came from. It's knowing. Walk with means the one who knows the words. There are multiple meanings. One is a master of communication. The one who knows what to speak, what not to speak. That is very important. And when to speak and how to speak. What to speak, what not to speak, when to speak, and how to speak. This is a person who has complete art in that. That person is known as vāgvidāṁ varaha. Another word of walk means Veda. Veda is known as Shabda Pramana, and which consists of walk. And the one vāgvidāṁ varaha means one who knows in Vedas for the spiritual wisdom. So Narada is an expert in communication, and he is a master of Veda. The last Visheshana, the fourth Visheshana, Narada was referred by four Visheshana, right? Tapaniradaha, Svadhyaya Niradaha, vāgvidāṁ varaha, and munipungavam, foremost among the sages. Narada is also called munipungavam. So Muni, the word Muni came from the word Maunashilavan. Maunashilavan means his mind is quiet. His mind is controlled. The one who has control over that mind to keep it quiet, to keep it calm is Muni. And out of that Munis, he is the best among the Munis. He is mastered. So this is Narada. And all these put together makes Narada probably the best possible person to describe Valmiki's question. Think about this. Valmiki identified himself as a Tapasi, and Narada is a munipungavam, the best among the teacher. Narada is identified as four things, right? One is Tapa Nirata, Svadhyaya Nirata, vāgvidāṁ varaha, and munipungavam. So a spiritual seeker, Valmiki, went ahead and asked these questions. Now the question is, when you approach a teacher, can you ask question? Some religions say, no, you cannot, thou shalt believe. But here, that's not the question. Right? In the third chapter, Arjuna even asked, your words confuses me, as it looks like confusing. That much freedom is given. So the questioning is available, but we need to follow certain discipline when you ask questions. You need to approach with faith. There are some people who ask question for what? To prove that the other person is wrong. That is not the right attitude. The person, you need to ask question with humility and with faith and with focus. You need to ask. That is exactly what Valmiki did. So that is what the one word, the next word tells. The art of asking. So the first shloka tells Valmiki paripraschascha. Prascha means ask question. Pariprascha means you ask. The commentator Govindaraja tells you ask with humility, you ask with faith, and you ask with attitude of learning, not the attitude of proving the other person is wrong. So these are the three things: humility, faith, and attitude of learning. With that, Valmiki asked, and that is why he used the word paripraschascha, not say that praschascha. Paripraschascha, praharshena praschascha. It's very, very unique way of asking. Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita tells what? Tatvitti pradipadena pariprashnena seveya. Exactly following that tradition. You see the connection, like in the stories. If you just read the shloka just like this, you won't get these dimensions. These are the different dimensions we need to learn. So this is how. So there was a question asked. There was the question, the one who asked the question, Valmiki, Narada, the question was asked to Narada. So we learned the characteristics of the qualification of the questionnaire. We learned the qualities of the teacher, and we learned the art of how the question was asked. This is the first shloka. Let's listen to the shloka one more time, and then we can do the question answers. So let me play.
अथ प्रथमः सर्गः तपस्वाध्यायनिरतम् तपस्वी वाग्विदां वरम् नारदं परिपप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिर्मुनिपुङ्गवम्.
Tapasvi Valmiki, what? Like Tapaswatyaya Niratam, vāgvidāṁ vara, Naradam paripraschascha. That's it. This is the first shloka of Valmiki Ramayana. So that's what we wanted to cover today. So finally, Let's recap. The Enquirer is Maharishi Valmiki. Humble Tapasvi humbly asked the question. Why he asked the question? He had confusion. Responder is Maharishi Narada. He is best among the speakers. He is foremost among the sages. And his qualities, his commitment to tapas, disciplined spiritual practice, and Svadhyaya, and he was a master of communication. And we saw the art of asking. This is the essence of what we covered today. We just unpacked the first shloka and elaborated. And let's listen to the closing prayer here. So,
Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Ramanama Varanani Sahasranama Tatulyam Ramanama Varanani.